Hi, welcome to number 9 What's in My Head video. It's still in depth. I decided today I just want to talk about some of my childhood memories. So people always ask me, not necessarily me specifically, but I've seen a lot of people kind of go back in time and talk about some things that happened when they were a kid. And some of them are funny. So I thought I'd share a couple. What reminded me is that I just got off the phone with my sister and she had a dream about me, which I won't go into detail because that's personal, but something in it brought back a memory of mine. And there was a spoon being thrown involved in her dream, and I asked her, I said, do you remember when I was in the 3rd grade and I actually threw a spoon at another child at the bus stop and it cut her arm? And she's like, oh, I forgot. And I said, yeah, that's kind of funny that you would have that dream. I thought that was interesting. Um, and then I started thinking about other things that happened when I was a kid, like when I was, again, about 8, my best friend and her name was Buttons. I don't think that was her actual name, but that's what everybody called her. And she and I were in the backyard of my house, and we decided to have a hair pulling contest. I don't know why. It was just something we wanted to do. So we started pulling each other's hair, and I guess the contest was um, the first person to yell loses. So I pulled her hair and I barely pulled it. And she started hollering. She was like, no, I give up, I give up. And I was like, okay, that wasn't very long. I got a good chance here. And she grabbed me by the bangs and she started yanking my hair, and I didn't even hurt, so I didn't say, I was like, okay, whatever. And she was yanking and yanking it and yanking it. And the next thing I know, she kind of falls back, and I have a bald spot because she's pulled my bangs right out of my head. So I have this huge bald spot right here where I had no hair because Buttons yanked it out. My mother was furious. She was livid. There's not a lot you could do um, when you're missing a bunch of hair right here and your hair is short anyway. And I always had short hair because my hair is ridiculously flat and straight. Hard to keep a curl. Um, Another time, my younger sister and I got stuck on a mountain. Had to be brought down by construction workers because we didn't have a ride back down this mountain. Um, I was in the 9th grade, I think, the 8th or 9th grade, and because I lived in Vegas and everything was so warm, the particular school I went to, and I went to several between the ages of 12 and, I think I went to 4 different middle schools or junior highs, whatever you want to call them. And in this particular school, which I can't remember the name of, they had a swimming class where part of our PE or gym was swimming, and it wasn't a team or anything. We just did it for gym. And I don't even know where I got this bathing suit, but it was a 2-piece. I remember it was dark red in color with black trim. And it was a little small for me, so I don't understand how this happened. I thought, with the suit being really tight, there's less likely it would move. But at any rate, I jumped off the high dive, and my bottoms came off. So I'm, going crazy and all. I've always loved to swim. First of all, I'm like a mermaid, so it's not like I was drowning or anything. But I was in shock because I had no bottoms on. I had bare bottoms, and everything was showing down there. So, and there were boys and girls in the class. I struggled underwater for a little while because, I felt the bottoms come off, and I saw them close. They were actually not quite on the bottom of the pool. They were still kind of floating. So I swam down to them and put them on, and I got out of the pool. I don't think anybody saw it, luckily, because I know they would have said something being the age that they were, but nobody saw it, so, but it's one thing I'll never forget. It's kind of like, when people have those dreams and say, oh, I showed up with no, naked to school or whatever. I didn't show up that way, but there was a moment during school in real life that I had no bottoms on. So, and the last thing I want to talk about is when I was in high school. I think I had to be at least a sophomore because my younger sister, no, I was a junior, because my younger sister who's 2 years behind me was also going to the same high school at this time. So I had to be a junior, and we decided we were going to skip school one day. And my sister and I had friends, really good friends that lived up the street from us, all went to the same school, but they were sisters. So there were two sisters, and all four of us were friends. And their mother was kind of lax. She was, I don't want to be rude, but she was kind of an alcoholic. And there was a lot of alcohol in the house, so there was a lot of time where we spent time there drinking. Don't ever mix vodka and Kool-Aid, kids. Don't do it. Well, don't drink at all, kids, but grown-ups. Don't mix vodka and Kool-Aid. If you haven't done it, no, don't do it. It's horrible. Um, but, their mom was gone a lot, too. She liked to gamble. She had a boyfriend that she went to. But this one particular time, my sister and I decided we didn't want to go to school one day. And we couldn't go back home because my mother would, annihilate us if she thought we were skipping school. And we lived in Henderson, Nevada, which is I don't want to say it's not really a suburb of Vegas anymore. It's actually its own city now, but at the time it was a lot smaller. And our high school was right across the street from where we lived. My friends lived up the street in another complex, and so we went to their house. And my friend Dawn, she was like, we can't put you in the house because we don't know when my mother's coming back, so we're going to have to figure something out where you guys can go and spend the day. And we all decided on the outside shelter, or it was a room outside to keep things like boxes and stuff like that. But it had a door. It was like a closet on the side of their apartment, and it had a door, and there was a pretty decent amount of space. So we stayed in this little shelter room all day. And the positive thing about all of this, other than the fact that you have friends that do things for you, and that's really cool, was they made us grilled cheese sandwiches for lunch, and it was the best grilled cheese sandwich I had ever had. And it was obviously made different than the way I made grilled cheese sandwiches, or had up until that point. So they told me how to do it. And what I had been doing is, when I made a grilled cheese sandwich, I would make the sandwich, I'd put the butter in the pan, and then, fry the sandwich. And it's like, those are decent, whatever. But they taught me to butter the bread, and then put it, and you have the bread actually, the butter fried into the bread like that. And I was like, oh my gosh, because you can get it crusty, and it's all delicious. So I was so happy to have these grilled cheese sandwiches. And we got into a lot of, not trouble, I would say, that I can remember. I mean, somebody that knows me might come along and go, yeah, no, you guys were crazy. We really weren't that, we could have been a lot worse. I mean, we did the normal teenage stuff, like, we would crawl out our bedroom window at night and go to the 7-Eleven, like 12 o'clock at night. We smoked. I still do, but we smoked because we thought it was cool. Hung around with people we probably shouldn't have hung around with. We weren't in the best of neighborhoods anyway, and we found some pretty, questionable personality people, but they were always really nice to us, and we never had a problem. And I think it's because certain people that we hung around with, other people left us alone. So, in a way it worked for us, so we weren't really doing anything bad, as we were just trying to protect ourselves. There were no drugs involved, and like I said, we did do a little drinking, like, teenagers will do, older teenagers will do. I don't condone it, please. I'm not condoning teenage drinking, but I'm not going to lie and say that I'm a, 100% angel. I never did anything bad. We did drink a little, we skipped school a few times or whatever, so we did the normal teenage stuff. I had a lot of memories from when I was a younger person. And I may, touch base with a few of them again. But today I was just feeling very nostalgic because my older sister called me, like I said, and I haven't talked to her in a while. And they all still live in Vegas, so I don't see them, except for my dad. He doesn't live in Vegas anymore. He lives in Missouri, I believe. But the rest of my family does live in Vegas, and I don't see them. And we rarely talk. I do Facebook with my older sister most of the time, but as far as my younger sister, my oldest brother, there was really not any communication there. It was nice for my older sister to call me today. It was unexpected, but it was very pleasant. and something that happened, and I got off the phone with her, and she had spoke, like I said, she had talked about dreaming, and part of that dream was a spoon being thrown, and that kind of started the whole nostalgia, memory lane feelings, and I was like, what do I do for a video this week? Oh, okay, we could talk about, things that happened when I was a child. Um, so yeah, that's going to be number 9 of what's in my head, because that's exactly what's in my head right now. Just growing up and what happened to me when I was young. A little clip on, if you're in Ely, or if you can read the Ely Times online. I have a quote coming up in this week's Ely Times for, regarding the petition that we started a while back, which I'm going to leave a link to in the description, and you can get more information about that. It's gotten a lot of attention, and I'm extremely proud of what we've been able to do in the last 2 weeks. It's really on a good motion, and the article that's going to be in the local newspapers at Ely Times, which I'll leave a link to as well down here, in case you don't live here, you don't get the paper. And I'm quoted. I don't know exactly what the quote's going to be. I spent a good, 15 minutes on the phone today with the reporter, and I talked to her for quite some time last week, and so we'll see what she prints from our conversations. But it's really exciting what's going on, and like I said, I'll make sure that there's a link that goes out. Everybody can see the petition, and then everybody can see, or those that want to can go check out the article when it's online. So I think that's it. I can't think of anything else, but I'm really excited about that, and I'm I enjoy thinking back to where the whole family was together when I was young, and the fact that we really did have more good times than we had bad times, and we definitely, we were normal kids. We were normal kids. We may be out there as adults, but we were definitely normal kids. We did the normal kid stuff. So that's me as a person, as a young person. I'll probably be speaking about something more serious next week. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to guess what's going to happen. Anything can happen. If I'm alive, there will be a video. That's as much as I can tell you. I don't know what else. I don't know what I'll be talking about. But there will definitely be a video. So I will see you next week. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Peace.